My dad removed every door in our house, so I found the one he couldn't open. Ever since I was born, our house had an open door policy, if that open door policy took steroids. My dad specifically loved enforcing it, and always told us that if a door was left closed, I could say goodbye to it. I always thought he was joking, until I turned 5 and experienced it myself. I was in the room with my dolls with a closed door, when suddenly it slammed open. Next thing I knew, Dad had his tools out and was taking the door clean off its hinges. He then went out into the back and burned it. It still had my bunny stickers on it, but he didn't care how hard I cried. On top of that, by dinner, not only the door, but the dolls I'd bought with my own money were burned too. I cried to my mom, but all she could say was that Dad had anxiety about hidden dangers, so it was best to just let him feel safe. Thing is, this only got worse as I got older. When I got my first period, I desperately wanted some privacy, but the curtain my dad installed wouldn't fully close. Naturally, I shut the door. That's when he barged in claiming, "Nothing natural needs hiding." He stood there while I changed my tampon in the shower, telling me not to be shy. I thought it couldn't get much worse, but I was wrong. After weeks of begging my mom for a sleepover, she finally agreed for my 14th birthday. My friends arrived excited, having never visited, until they saw our doorless house. There were a few strange glances thrown my way, but we moved on, running straight to my room, giggling with excitement. But the happiness did not last long. My dad started hourly safety patrols with his flashlight peering into my room. He came in and examined every one of my friends, telling them to twirl to make sure they didn't have anything on him. And since I was the only one with the skirt, I had to twirl the longest. My friends were too creeped out and got their parents to pick them up. The next day in school, everyone was whispering about my doorless house and creepy dad. Their parents banned them from talking to me. I lost all my friends and became completely isolated. I remember at this time I began truly hating my dad, and that only intensified at 16. I woke up to him pulling off my blanket. I screamed at him, and he went red before claiming he was searching under my mattress for contraband. My mom actually tried to intervene, but she was dragged out of my room. All I heard was the slap before the house went silent. The next morning, my mom had a bruise and my door frame had a camera set up in it. I left at 17 with just a backpack to go to college. I didn't speak to either of them for a full 20 years, and I should have left it like that. But one day, I decided to bring my 12-year-old daughter to visit. I didn't want to see dad, only mom. So I had her promise me that she'd keep my dad away from my daughter. She said yes. Well, at around 2 a.m., I woke to the feeling of my daughter pressing into my chest. She was sobbing that grandpa had been touching her hair. I looked up, and that's when I saw the blanket we had put up for some privacy had been torn down. Dad had been touching my daughter the whole time we slept. I rushed out and saw him in his room sleeping, pressing the blanket against his chest. I wanted to cull him on the spot, but before I had the chance to confront him, my mom appeared out of the bathroom. I could see visible signs of what must have been her attempting to stop him. She broke down and started apologizing.